if you're struggling to maintain a stable CPA while you're trying to increase your budget, so you always have to scale back down because the return on ad spend goes down, the CPA goes up, and you want to scale to $1 million a month with Facebook ads and Google ads, then this video is for you. Because in this video, I'm going to show you how I made 2.6 million over the last 90 days using a weird funnel that you might have never really heard of. I'm going to show you exactly how I got to this point, right? So how I identified this, and then also how you can actually implement it. So by the end of the video, you will be able to take this and implement it into your brand. That's the goal. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to show you some proof, obviously, because a lot of scammers are out there. This is actually only my own brands, right? So brands that I'm like a part owner of, and not excluding all the brands that I'm consulting. So I'm just going to refresh this, then I have to rebuild it completely, but that's okay. All right, so as you can see, this is real, okay? 2.6 over the last 90 days. Now, let's jump into the real meat of this video. So what I want to show you is basically, how did I get to this point? Why is this relevant, you might be asking? Okay, I'm having creatives, like I'm testing creatives, I don't know, maybe you do 100K per month, maybe you do 250K per month, you want to get to $1 million a month or close to $1 million, get over these 500K, whatever it is. You might be thinking, well, I just need to do more creatives. Some people just tell you, hey, you just need to do more creatives, more and better creatives. Yeah, this is very easy to say, but the question is, are you really doing what's necessary to get to $1 million a month and beyond? And how I got to this point is that we were at a point where we were just like testing creatives like crazy, but we didn't see the real results, right? I mean, we were doing good creatives, in my opinion, at least also in the opinion of other people. But still, this didn't solve the main issue. The root cause of why we were not able to scale efficiently and maintain a stable cost per acquisition was that we were overloading our creatives. And that's a very, very important concept that I want you to take away from that, from this video. Because what most of the people are doing is they try to attract people, educate people, and convert people in one creative, right? So now when you look at what is actually happening when it comes to like the market, how do people behave? You can see that the attention span is going down, right? So people, they don't have the same attention span as they had maybe 5 years ago, right? Because all these platforms introduced something like Reels, TikToks, so you're basically educated to consume a lot of short form content. So what you have to do in the creatives is you have to do an amazing job just to get the attention of the people, right? That's already become hard. And then when you think of it, when you have to do all of these 3 things here in one video, this means, let's say, and I mean, this is actually way too much, but let's say you would have 30 seconds of attention on average, which means like the average video watch time would be 30 seconds, which it, almost never is, because your creatives most likely are between 30 seconds, a minute long. So in 30 seconds, you have to do all of this here, right? So you have to attract the right audience, the right customer. You have to educate them on your product, also on the problem that they have, right? You have to educate them on the problem, on your product, how your product solves this problem, why your product is better than other solutions that are out there. And then you need to convert them on a specific offer, okay? So this is something that might work initially when you're targeting, let's say, low-hanging fruits, right? When the algorithm is going out and basically looking for low-hanging fruits, obviously, to get you better results initially, that's where it can work, but it works until a certain point. If your ambition is to scale close to $1 million a month, to $1 million a month, 500K, in most of the niches, you will hit a wall, right? At some point, you will hit a wall. And basically, no matter what you do when it comes to creatives, the CPA is going to go up. Because what happens is that you go into colder audiences. I always have this example here. So those are the low-hanging fruits, okay? Low-hanging fruits, this is what Facebook gives you first. Those are the people that are very close to purchasing or your product or a similar product. So they're actually actively looking for a solution. But once you've dominated this part here, you need to go into colder audience segments, meaning they are not as educated as these people here. They are not as clear on what type of solution they're looking for, right? So the more you increase your budgets, the more you will go outside of the circle here and go into bigger but colder audiences. And that's what really happens when you're scaling up your budgets, right? It's easy. I always say it's easy to have a great return on ad spend when you're spending $300 a day. But do it at 3K a day, 10K a day, 20K a day, right? This is a completely different, equation to solve. So this is what actually happens. So that's why when you're scaling outside of this, let's say, easy circle here, that's where this here breaks, because we're overloading the creative. So what did I do then? Like most of the people, it's literally, they send from an ad creative, they send straight to the product page. Okay, this works great if you want to get to 100K per month or whatever, 50K per month, 100K per month. This can work amazingly. Even in some niches, it can go further, right? But if you want to scale more than that, this is what you have to do. You have to break it up. And I didn't just, wake up and come up with this idea. What I did was I just studied brands that are operating at a way higher level, right? So brands that are doing 5 million a month, right? Or even 10 million a month. What do they do? What is their, what do they do differently in their funnel? Because they, for sure, have to be in front of cold audiences. You cannot be at 10 million a month and be in a super small niche, right? This is most of the time it's not possible. So, okay, what did I learn from that? I basically learned that they split these things up. So they said, okay, I use the creative to mainly attract the right people, right? So the main obligation of the creative is to attract people in my target audience, right? Then I send them to an educational page. So they're making the funnel longer. As you can see, the funnel is longer, right? But they use this additional space to warm up the traffic, to warm up the audience. So what they do in these educational pages is essentially to, and I'll show you examples of that in a couple of minutes, is that they have more space. They have more space to elaborate the problem, to show what their product is actually doing, how their product solves the problem, the pain point, and why it solves them better than other stuff that's out there, right? And this is what really warms up these audiences. And this is how you basically extend this circle here and you warm them up so that they're ready to then purchase, which is happening on the product page, right? This is where you convert people mainly. Now, obviously, in reality, you will have elements of education, conversion in all of these, also in the ad creative. But it's about the main responsibility. And this really simplified a lot of things for us internally, where we basically said, okay, the ad creative is mainly there to attract the right people, maybe educate a little bit, right? And then send to an educational page where we have more space, We talk about why our product, like how our product differentiates, why our product is better. And then we make them hot for actually wanting to see the product, see the price, right? So here, we're not talking about the price. The price does not matter here. We only want them to be invested into the product. We want to create desire for the product. Okay, cool. So this is that here. So then when you, let's say, or make it a little bit more specific, finally you will have video creatives, image creatives that lead to a listicle or an advertorial. I will show you that in a second. And this is where you educate people, and the next thing is actually also to trust, right? To create trust. That's important. This is why people buy. People have to understand, it has to make sense. They have to understand that you understand their problem, that your product is, you understand their situation, and then how your product solves this problem and why they should believe you, right? Why should they believe you that this is actually better than all of the stuff that they most likely have tried out already, right? So this is what we do here in this middle stage. And then on the product page, obviously we have our offer, cold-friendly offer, and we convert people here, right? But the people that get to this page, they already have desire for this product. They want this product. They want to understand, is it something that I'm able to afford, right? Do I have the right value versus price ratio? And if so, they will end up purchasing, okay? So now let's jump into some examples, right? Because I want to make this specific, otherwise you will not have a clear picture of what it's looking like. So number one that I recommend is to run listicles, right? This is something that I do in my own brands. I also coach and mentor over 20 brands now, and this is something that is really like the whole portfolio spending overall around 1.5 to 2 million a month, depends on the month. But that's what helps them tremendously. Because again, even if you have here like a great founder ad, for example, right? You have a great founder ad, and you basically have like, I don't know, let's say 1 minute 30 where you explain a little bit about your story and how the product works and why it's better, yada, yada, yada. You might still have like an average watch time of 15 or 16 seconds, right? So the average person is consuming 16 seconds of what you're saying. How in the world are they going to understand what the product is really doing, right? So that's why we want to make sure that they understand. And this is what helps us to tap into colder audiences. And this is where you see Facebook pushing this combination, this funnel to colder audiences because they have a better experience, right? And they convert at a higher rate ultimately. So here is one example, right? This is one example. I'm not affiliated to any of the brands that I'm going to show you. I just figured they run listicles and advertorials, so just wanted to give you specific examples, okay? So this is one example of a listicle. Listicle is very simple. It's something like 5 reasons why, right? 5 ways how XYZ will help you. A very easy thing is to say 5 reasons why 5 reasons why people in this target audience are switching to this solution, right, or to this magical solution and see results XYZ, right? This is a very, very common theme that works really well. So as you can see here, this is where people land first, right? So they first learn about, hey, this is what the product is doing, right? This is what kind of, let's say, shades you have in this example, right? Foundation reinvented. You have a bunch of trust here, right? You have reviews for every single bullet point. Then you know, okay, it's actually created by Bobby Brown. Like those are all things that people would most likely not understand if they would just watch one creative, right? So not heavy, cakey, or dry, right? So those are all things that most likely they identified are important to people, right, before they make the purchase. So they educated them before that and then send them to the product page, right? So to make it super easy, what I would do is really here in the first bullet points, focus on the problem, right? Explain what the problem is, mainly in the first one here, and also make them understand like how your product is actually solving the problem, right? If you do this in the first two and then you use the other ones to talk about your product more specifically, like what are the benefits, not so much about the features, but more about the benefits, right? And then also use one bullet point for social proof, right? So here another example. Specifically designed for men over 40. That speaks directly to a specific avatar that they identified for them. And even in the headline you see it, men over 40 are calling this a natural ED solution a game changer. And you can try it for just $25, right? So this hooks in the right people. This is the connection from the ad creative to this educational funnel. And then we basically talk about how this is helping, why it's different, in this case backed by science. So those could be objections that they identified. People, maybe they think, well, it's just something like put together and who says that it's really working? It's actually backed by science, right? How fast can you see results? In weeks, in a few weeks. Then what if it doesn't work? You just send it back. That's the guarantee, right? Risk-free, 100% natural, right? So those are all things that are important. And then obviously, again, trust to show other people are actually using this product and see results. So other people like me are using it and they see results. And this helps people to say, wow, I understand what this product is doing, how it's solving it, and I see other people have tried it and it works. I want to know how much this is, right? In this case, they mentioned the price already. I wouldn't have done this. I usually don't do this. And I want only to sell the product and then I sell the price, right? Now, this is on listicles. Actually, I'll link a video where I go in depth on how to write a listicle, so you can do that. Check this out. Here, the next part is advertorials. Okay, advertorials. So advertorials are basically, they're kind of like the same thing in the sense that they educate people, right? They help you to educate your target audience. What they do differently is that they're just more elaborated, okay? This is like, listicles are very easy and simple, as you can see from the structure. You could vary, right? You could do like 5 reasons why, 7 reasons why, 11 reasons why, whatever works. Definitely make sure to try out different styles also, different lengths. And then the other thing is advertorials, right? So here, just 2 examples. Again, not affiliated. I don't know the brands. I don't know anybody in that brand, in those brands. I just want to show you what it looks like, right? So that you have a clear picture of that. So what this is an advertorial. And what it does is it helps you especially to go into, where are we? Into way colder audiences this year, right? So here we really go into audiences that are far away from where we can just send them to a product page and they will just purchase, right? So what we do here is we essentially talk about the problem. We really make them feel home. That's what I always say. Like, make them feel home. They have to understand, somebody understands where I'm at and what my problem is. And then somebody educates me on what is actually causing the pain points that I have, right? And then presents me a solution that is credible on how their or how the solution is actually helping my pain. So here an example. Bloated Brits are using this to fight their IBS, leaky gut, and more. Okay, so here We're talking to people that are bloated and that are from the UK. So if you're from the UK and you have a bloated belly, and most likely you're a woman, because here they show women, you're directly hooked in. You want to know, okay, what are they using, right? And how does it work actually? Now, we're not going to go into all of the details, but just look at the headlines. What's causing your gut issues? We're talking about the problem, right? We're educating them on what is actually the root cause. And this is a very important point. Root cause. What's the root cause of all of the pain or all of the symptoms that you have, right? And once you're clear on the root cause, then you can talk about how can you actually solve this root cause, and you will understand why certain other solutions don't work because they don't fight the root cause. They just fight the symptoms, let's say, right? So next question, what can I do about it? Very straightforward. What to look for, right? This is a very straightforward advertorial. What's the best probiotic in the UK? What are others saying? Again, trust, right? Oops, wait a second. There you go, we're back. What are others saying? And then they present the product. You see, so they are going some steps before they even talk about their product. Very important takeaway. Let's look at the next one. Okay, my physiotherapist recommended this to me and it fixed my sciatica pain. I only wish I knew about this sooner. Okay, so here again, that's when I stumbled across physiotherapists that changed everything, okay? Here they discover the root cause, essentially, and they discover why this works. Recommended product called, there you go. There it recommends the product. If you're suffering from any sort of sciatica pain, you need XYZ, right? And then they present the product. So here again, it's very straightforward. They don't spend a lot of time, explaining the root cause. That's what I would most likely do to improve that, right? It depends also on which audience segment they're trying to target. So this is the last point that I want to share with you on this, is depending on who you're targeting and in which awareness stage they are, you need to structure these educational funnels differently. And that's the power, right? You can have something like a listicle, but you can write a listicle for solution aware, and you can also write a listicle for problem aware audiences, right? It's still a listicle, but you're talking to a different awareness stage, right? So when you factor this in, this is just a tool. See it as a tool to convert colder audiences more reliably, right? See this as a tool to convert audiences that are not as familiar with your product and with maybe the type of your product, the type of solution. And then you can use it actually through multiple awareness stages, right? Just to target people in a different way, because you're not going to speak to somebody that is solution aware the same way that you would speak to somebody that is problem aware. And one very last thing that I want you to, think about is really think about if you would go out on the streets now with your product and just ask random people on the street that look like they're in your target audience and talk to them for 15 seconds and then make them make a decision on if they purchase your product or not. It's totally unrealistic, right? It's very, very unrealistic. Most of the people will say, well, I don't know, I don't even know how it works. I don't know, what's behind that. Do other people also use it? Of course, you have this info on your product page, but we want to make it as easy as possible for the people. And most likely you would talk to this person for, let's say, 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes or 3 to 5 minutes, after 3 to 5 minutes, they would be like, okay, I understood. I actually learned something from you. Now I know what the real problem is. And your product is formulated in a way that it solves this real problem. And thousands of others have used it before and seen results. Okay, whatever, what's the cost? Let me know. This is what you want to create, right? So go back to even though it's digital, everything is digital, but don't forget about these, like, at the end of the day, it's like a communication from human to human, right? Don't forget about this. That's why these things are working, and this is what enabled me to, make 2.6 million across my brands over the last 90 days. We're going to do way more, obviously, and constantly working on improving these things. Let me know if you want to have like a masterclass on advertorials. I can share more about that, but I just wanted to get you to understand this main principle. Take it, implement it. I will also link my 8-figure funnel, video where I break down what's the 8-figure funnel. I go take some parts of this, but go even deeper into what's happening after the sale, which is very, very crucial if you want to go to 8 figures. So I'll share that also here. And then, if you think like, this sounds nice and everything, but I want to accelerate it, I want to work with somebody that actually has done it, is doing it, and can guide me along the way, then just hit the first link in the description and book a call with me so we can see how I can help you. I'm mentoring, coaching brands one-on-one and basically help them in their specific situation how to implement all of these things, right? What to do to get to the next level, and help a couple of brands now to go to $1 million a month, and many, many others to cross their first 100K, 250K. So if this is something that you seriously want to do, go ahead, book a call, and we will chat. All right, I hope that was helpful. Take care, see you in the next one.